Good morning, students. Today we are going to read the next chapter, chapter 4 of our reader book, A Truly Beautiful Mind. This chapter belongs to Albert Einstein. You all must have heard the name of the great scientist Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879 in the Germany without any indication that he was destined for greatness. So he was just like any other simple child. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. To her, his head seemed too large. So the mother found out that he is kind of different. His head is too large. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't walking and talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. So the mother feels that he is kind of a slow learner who couldn't talk properly even at the age of 2.5 years, and at that time also he repeated everything twice. Einstein didn't know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him Brother Boring. So he never knew how to play with other children, his pals. He was called Brother Boring. So the youngster played by himself much of the time. So he remains busy himself. He don't know how to play with other. He especially loved mechanical toys. Looking at his newborn sister Maza, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" So, looking at her newborn sister, Albert Einstein thought that it is some kind of a machine or a car. So, where are the wheels? A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make a success at anything. See how harsh the headmaster would be. He said whatever he is going to do, he will not going to succeed in any kind. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. But Einstein was not a bad pupil. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled there that he left the school for good. He didn't find the school's regimentation, means order or discipline, which were taken to an extreme. So he used to feel that a child should be kept free of that utter discipline. So he left the school at 15. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives after prolonged discussion. Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So he thought Munich was not that much liberal for students, so he wanted to stay in Switzerland. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics, and after finishing school he decided to study at the university in Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that happened to dashing young man with the walrus moustache. He is you can see, dashing young man in 1900 at the age of 21, and in 1955 as we remember him now with the walrus moustache. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Marek, whom he found to be a clever creature. This young Serb had come to Switzerland because the University of Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. So Mileva came to the University of Zurich to get education. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and the university with whom he was constantly at odds. So he felt that this is a friend or associate. Philistines is a word disapproving to talk about people who do not like art, literature, and music. He felt that yes, we can be good friends. Now, he was constantly at odds. The couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness, wrote Einstein. Einstein was a scientist. He had a scientific mind. So while writing the letter, he mixes science with his tenderness of feelings. How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. See the word relativity. He used the word relativity in a different way. In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. While he was supposed to be asserting other people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. He is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. He was given the work in a patent office where he have to assess people's invention, but he was doing something else of his own. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. That means time and distance measured in itself, not in relation to anything else. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey if one of them has been moving very fast relative to another. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. So he says that the theory of relativity says that time and distance are not absolute, they are not exact. Two perfectly different, perfectly accurate clocks will not even continue to show the same time after one round or so. So this is a E is equal to mc square. This is the formula which the world followed. Right? While Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unrevealing. That means starting to fail. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. Why? She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence. She is a book like you, his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. So the mother never wanted Mileva and Einstein to get married. She thought she is a very intelligent girl, just a book like you. How can you enter the family world with such an intelligent girl who would also keep herself busy in work? So Einstein respected her mother's wish and put the wedding off. He didn't marry. The pair finally married in 1903 January and had 2 sons. But a few years later, the marriage faltered, became weak. Mileva, meanwhile, was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1919. Einstein married his cousin Elsa the same year. So somehow we can say Einstein's mother was correct. Their marriage just fall off and he remarried. Einstein's new personal chapter coincided with his rise to world's fame. Now Einstein was getting fame all over the world. In 1915, he had published his General Theory of Relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. An eclipse of the sun in 1919 brought proof that it was accurate. He was working on the General Theory of Relativity, and when in 1919 an eclipse of sun formed, his theory was proved accurate. Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. So he was getting fame all over the globe. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. He was applauded. Lauded means applauded, appreciated by the press. When the Nazis came to power in Germany in 1933, Einstein immigrated to US. 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission in Berlin had American physicists in an uproar. When they came to know that Berlin was doing nuclear fission reaction, American physicists were in uproar. They were getting upset. Many of them had fled to fascism, just as Einstein had, and now they were afraid that Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. So scientists, you see, who discover things, they even don't want that their inventions should be used as a destructive weapons, right? At the urging of a colleague, Einstein wrote a letter to the American president Franklin D. Roosevelt on 2nd August 1939, in which he wrote a letter to the then President of America, in which he warned a single bomb of this type exploded in a port might very well destroy the whole port together with some of the surroundings territory. So he already gave the warning. His words did no fail to have an effect. The Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction. This time he wrote a public missive. Lastly, he wrote a private letter to the President of US, but this time he was so shattered, so he wrote a public missive, public letter. In it, he proposed the formation of a world government. He wanted to have a world government. Unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made no impact. But over the next decades, Einstein got ever more involved in politics, agitating from an end to the arms build-up and using his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. He involved in politics and started to campaign for peace and democracy all over the world, having a world government. When Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary and world citizen as much as a scientific genius. So we not only knows him, remembers him as a scientific genius, as a scientist, as a physicist, he was also a world citizen. So we remembers him as a prophet of unity, peace in the world. Thank you.